Our Hotspots magazine will celebrate 39 years this fall. It has been documenting the LGBTQ plus lifestyle and is the inspiration of our next segment called Hotspots Queer Entertainment. And this week, it is sponsored by the Broward Center for Performing Arts. In the LGBTQ plus community, we always make jokes about size matters. When it comes to Broward Center, size does matter. The Broward Center is the destination of choice for LGBTQ plus South Florida for spectacular entertainment in a large variety of performance venues. Broward Center ranks among the top 10 most visited theaters in the world, presenting more than 700 performances a year to more than 700,000 patrons. And Broward Center supports one of the world's largest gay communities of Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, and really all of South Florida. They support the LGBTQ plus community and are nonprofits unlike any theater in South Florida. We are excited to tell you about many of the upcoming shows that you see right now. And did you know that surveys show that the LGBTQ plus community participates in live theater performances 2.5 times more often than our straight counterparts? And that's why they are the sponsor of Hotspots Queer Entertainment this week. Here we go. Star Trek, one of my favorite all-time entertainment platforms. Star Trek famed Wilson Cruz will never forget the bullying he endured while in high school in Southern California. He remembers turning to fellow LGBTQ plus students and teachers for support, and that was the only thing, according to him, that helped him get through his school years. This experience fueled Cruz's involvement with GLSEN, the 38-year-old nationwide organization that works to make safe schools for LGBTQ plus students and educators. Cruz shared it in an interview recently with Variety. He is now the chair of GLSEN'S board. A 2021 survey by GLSEN concluded that 82% of all students feel unsafe at school. Unsafe. 82%. Cruz fears the number is even higher in the 2 years since the findings became such a political climate in the United States. The Hotspots Queer Entertainment episode this week is Star Trek. Wilson Cruz opens up about being bullied at school. And speaking of Hotspots Queer Entertainment, we're going to tell you a bit more about Broward Center in a minute. But let's talk about Wilson Cruz. What do y'all think about what he is saying about bullying in schools?
Well, I mean, that's an epidemic, and that happens to everyone. And like you said, it's gotten even worse, right? If you're not worried about a gunman coming into your school, you're getting bullied, and you're not being able to get a good education because of it. Wilson Cruz was in My So-Called Life when he was a kid, right? That was the show he was on, right? And, so he was like a semi-star, and he still got bullied in school for being gay. So, what chance do the rest of us have? You know what I mean? The thing with being bullied, it sucks, and it completely stops you from wanting to make friends or even get educated or even go into school. To anybody that's being bullied, man, find your tribe. There's strength in numbers. If you have at least 2 people with you, they can't grab you to beat your ass because you got 2 people holding you, helping you get away. I thank goodness that he was able to get past that.
Let me ask you and ask all of you, at the end of the day, one of the things that I don't understand that has just not resonated with the general population is when you have a governor that is willing to say some of the things that he has said about Disney, about Don't Say Gay, about woke identity, about slavery has really been good for you, about all of the related issues of queerness, trans identity, gender, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When your governor has been so free to say these kind of words, how do we not possibly expect that 15-year-old, 16-year-old Johnny goes, I've got permission to do this?
Because they see their parents doing the same thing.
Well, that's the thing. So that's the excuse they're going to give. Think about it. Most often, families sit together around at 6 o'clock in the evening and have dinner together. So on the news, their agenda is being pushed in front of their faces. Parents either agreeing or not. So long gone are the days of being picked on because you're too short or you may not look a certain way. Now the target is on the LGBTQI and those who don't know their way. And TV and social media is allowing it to happen. And so I agree with you. find your tribe, find those people who are gonna allow you to live. And it's disheartening because they're taking away all our diversity programs in our schools. They're making it easier for people to be bullied, and they're making it okay because the moment that a child can say, well, you removed my education, you told me it was okay because you took away the diversity officer, you took away that gay club, so I think it's okay. They're giving them license to do that.
Do you all agree with that?
I agree with
Yeah, no, and I can't imagine what it's like to be in high school now. I just went to my 20th high school reunion 2 years ago. And getting together with a lot of my friends who they all have they had kids outside right after high school. So all of their kids are in high school now. So the kids that I went to school with, they have kids, that are going through this experience right now. And I think about my experience, and I was lucky to go to school with the same group of friends from elementary, middle, and high school. So I had my tribe. And when I was in high school, no one was out. There was 4 people, including myself, that we knew that were gay, but no one ever talked about it. We didn't have any student groups. No one was out. There was no gays, no lesbians, no trans, no nothing until after our
By the
first
way,
year.
that's exactly how Ron DeSantis would like to keep it.
Yeah,
by the way.
and that's how it was 20 years ago. And and everyone came out in college and so on. And when I talk to my friends about it now, who a lot of my friends I still have since I was a kid. And we talk about, did you know that I was gay? And they're like, oh yeah, we knew you were gay, since elementary school. I'm like, well, how did you know? We always have these conversations about it. And I remember a particular story that came up at my 20th high school reunion when I ran into one of my friends' ex-girlfriends that they dated in high school. And one of my friends, he used to walk me home every day from the bus stop because he lived in the next block over. And this particular friend, we were friends since elementary school, elementary, middle, and high school. So we rode the bus together, we walked home, we carpooled and stuff like that. And he always walked me home, and he told her this because he always said he had to walk me home just to make sure that I was safe.
Aww.
And I never knew this because he didn't want anyone to bully me, even though I was never bullied in high school, but my tribe was there for me, and they would speak up for me in places that, conversations that I wasn't in, or people were making fun of me, they were there to speak up for me. So I'm really thankful for
And
that
you,
group of friends.
you didn't know that this shield of protection was
had no
going
idea.
on.
I just thought, because he lived in the next block, he would just walk.
It was
me home.
convenient, but it was
convenient. But he told his girlfriend, he's like, oh no, I have to make sure that Cal gets home safe.
I'm curious, when you learned that, did you ever have a moment with him where you went back to?
I did. It's funny enough because he's actually my barber now, so I still see him because we went to undergrad together. The few hairs that I have left on my head, I still go see him since he's a barber. Just to be able
only
to keep
twice
it up.
a year.
Yeah, basically every 6
that.
months.
See,
I did tell him, and he goes, "How do you know that?" He's like, "I'm holding clippers right now." And I'm like, "I know." And I told him, "Oh, so and so told me, about that. Is it true?" And he goes, "Yeah, I never wanted anyone to pick on you."
That's so sweet. But see, that's why I only bullied white people in high school.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. And cheerleaders.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
And
Well,
it's
I think it's fabulous.
That was Ron
Thank you,
DeSantis
Al.
cutting
No,
the clip.
absolutely.
I think fabulous that you had a friend.
And I hope kids in
and
school, have that
fabulous
support.
that you had a friend like that didn't wear it on their sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
and tell
wanted
you
to
about it.
keep
Yeah.
it quiet.
Had no idea
Until
until 20 years later.
Yeah. That's really amazing. We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ plus evening news show, brought to you from Happening Out Television Network. We operate in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ plus community. We educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ plus community, with more than 100,000 a week watching us on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the story going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.